Welcome one, welcome all. How's it going, old schoolers? You're kicking it old school with Russell JS, and I am your host, Russell JS. I got yet another album versus album, track by track. Both albums by the same band, actually. A band that came out of the 60s. They were the rebels. They were the revolutionaries. They represented everything that the 1960s were, with what was going on, all the turmoils with, presidential assassinations, civil rights, the Vietnam War. I mean, they went ahead and they went after everything that was wrong with the world. I'm talking about a quartet of musicians that consisted of Jim Morrison as the front man, Robbie Krieger on the guitar, Ray Manzarek on the keyboards, and John Densmore on the drums. Yes, I am talking about the one, the only, from Los Angeles, California, The Doors. And this video, I was sad to have heard about the passing of actor Val Kilmer, who passed away this Monday from pneumonia while battling throat cancer. My thoughts and prayers are with Val Kilmer and Val Kilmer's family. I wish them all the best. I wish that they find comfort and peace, tranquility and salvation through their mourning, through their tragedy. Great actor, and the coolest thing about Val Kilmer, I mean, you know him as Iceman from Top Gun. You know him from Willow. You know him from Thunderheart, from Heat, from The Saint. But in his career, he played two icons of the 1960s. He played Jim Morrison and he was Batman. Well, I guess in a way, Batman did become iconic with the 60s thanks to the TV show starring Adam West. But the two albums I'm showcasing tonight, and I'm going to have a little trivia, not only about Val Kilmer's role as Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's 1991 theatric release, The Doors, but one of these albums, the history of it, how it came to be. And the two albums I am showcasing, the first one, Morrison Hotel from 1971, and the last recorded album that they did with Jim Morrison before he passed at the age of 27, LA Woman. Now these albums, Morrison Hotel has 11 tracks and LA Woman has 10 tracks, but I added a bonus because there was actually a song that they recorded that wasn't released on album called Paris Blues. And sadly, it got destroyed by Ray Manzarek's son when he was real little. So that recording supposedly is no longer in existence. But I added Ghost Song from the 1978 Jim Morrison poetry album called American Prayer, which the Doors would later put music to. It was a collection of poems that Jim Morrison recorded on his 27th birthday, just months before his death, his untimely death at the age of 27 in Paris, France, from a heart attack. So let's go ahead and, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit a like, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below, not too negative. Remember, if you do anything negative, I'm gonna not only delete your comment, but I'm gonna block you, okay? So you won't get to watch any more videos that I put out, and also ring the bell for notification. But at any rate, let's see how these bad Oscars rank, shall we? Now, I want you to know I love both these albums. I don't love one better than the other. I love them both equally, but we're gonna see which one has the better songs. Starting off, number one, from Morrison Hotel, Roadhouse Blues versus The Changeling off of LA Woman. Now, Roadhouse Blues is a real kickin' jam. It's got that, kind of bluesy tone to it, but it's played so much not only on the radio, but in some movies, but a lot of cover bands that go into bars and play a set list of classic rock, they cover it. Every single cover band in any town has covered this song. So I got to give a point to The Changeling. Number 2, Waiting for the Sun versus Love Her Madly. Now, I have nothing bad to say about Waiting for the Sun. I love hearing it because that's one of those songs that you really don't hear on radio, even on Sirius XM, like on classic vinyl or 60s or whatever. And Love Her Madly, oh, that is so enjoyable. I love how fast paced it goes. So therefore, that's going to be a tie. You Make Me Real versus Been Down So Long. I'm not real big fan of You Make Me Real. I love Been Down So Long. So Been Down So Long gets a point. Peace Frog versus Cars Hiss at My Window. Cars Hiss by My Window is a little bit too slow, too lazy. And Peace Frog, that became a number 1 big hit off this album for The Doors. I mean, Jim Morrison must have wrote about, because The Doors, there was a lot of problems when they would play concerts across the country because riots would break out and Jim would be so blitzed and drunk or stoned, whatever have you. And, there were times where I guess he's been arrested in Chicago. He got arrested in New Haven, Connecticut, all off stage. During the recordings of these albums, he was still looking at standing trial in Miami for an alleged indecent exposure charge and public drunkenness and profanity. So they were trying to stretch that out to where, he wouldn't have to spend time in prison and he would still get to go ahead and record. I mean, there was a lot of things that went on after that Miami concert. Radio stopped playing the songs by The Doors. I mean, all the remaining tour dates canceled because they're like, what's he going to do next? And that time between 1969 and 1968 to 1971, those were trying times. I mean, the assassination of Martin Luther King, the Vietnam War was going on. Like Woodstock was happening. The Doors didn't even play Woodstock. What else was it? Yeah, Martin Luther King got assassinated. Robert F. Kennedy got assassinated, and he was running for president. The Manson family killed the entire concept of the hippies peace movement. And, it is a really great anthem of what was going on at that time. And Peace Frog going up against Cars Hiss by My Window, I'm giving that one to Peace Frog. Blue Sunday versus L.A. Woman. L.A. Woman is, the title track for L.A. Woman, that's yet another one of the Doors hits that just gets the life played out of it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Peace Frog is one of those songs that you would hear on some TV show with a lot of action, or, one of those things that they would use like in a movie trailer. Because they say blood in the street, it's up to my ankles, blood, on the palm trees in Venice, all that stuff. I mean, it's like the kind of song they would play in a trailer for a horror movie. Or they'll play it in the movie, just for the reference of the bloodshed and all that. But okay, back to the subject. Blue Sunday versus L.A. Woman. L.A. Woman is a really great track. But that's another one of those songs where radio had just played the life out of it. I have nothing against it, but I have to go with Blue Sunday. So far, both albums are tied. Ship of Fools versus L'America. L'America. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the song L'America, so I'm giving that to Ship of Fools, which Robert Plant also has a song called Ship of Fools from his post-Led Zeppelin solo days. But, it's a different tune. Okay, moving right along. Land Ho versus Hyacinth House. I'm not a big fan of Land Ho, but I got to go with Hyacinth House. So there we go there. The Spy versus Crawling King Snake. both very seductive, both very, you know, that's the kind of song you want to seduce a girl with. And you know what? They're both great, very bluesy, jazzy, you know. So I'm giving them both a point. So it is tied so far. Queen of the Highway versus Wasp, Texas Radio, and the Big Beat. I heard Queen of the Highway once, quite a few times, and again, I'm not a big fan. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Wasp, Texas Radio, and the Big Beat. Indian Summer versus Riders on the Storm. Love Indian Summer, and I love Riders on the Storm, despite the fact that it is overplayed, you know, by radio, but still, I love the song enough. I mean, when I go out to an open mic with my guitar, that's one of the songs I do play. So I'm going to give them both a point there. Maggie M. Gill versus Ghost Song. Now, Ghost Song is the bonus that I put on there from the American Prayer, just to go ahead and even everything up and be fair. And you know what? Maggie M. Gill is not really all that great, so I'm giving it to Ghost Song. So now the results of this. The winner is, we got Morrison Hotel with 6 points and LA Woman with 8 points. LA Woman wins this round. And as you can see, again, I'm doing this in memory of Val Kilmer. Now, I want to go ahead with some of the trivia I was telling you I was going to do earlier. You know, what I love about this record, not only does it sound real bluesy, but the cover of it, the trivia is, you see Ray Manzarek and his wife Dorothy were driving around Venice and LA, you know, thinking about what they're going to do for the next album. Dorothy spotted what is now the infamous Morrison Hotel. It was over in the Skid Row section of town, and they were going to get their photographer, and, you know, the band was going to drive around. And what had happened was they found the hotel, and they said, okay, this is going to be the title of the next album. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a picture of the four of us in the front room window. And look at there, rooms 250 and up, passenger loading only. And the thing is, they asked the manager if they could go ahead and take a picture. And the manager said no, so they waited until the manager went away. And they snuck in there, and they took a few shots of the four of them, the doors, in front of this front room window. And this was the final result. And then they went out to a Skid Row bar, there's the original Hard Rock Cafe right there on the, you know, on the back of the album jacket. And right here, they were talking with the patrons and hanging out, having a few beers, having something to eat, and there they are. Ray Manzarek, Jim Morrison, Robbie Krieger, and John Densmore. And that's how Morrison Hotel came about. Sadly, I was going to do this video around December because just the day after Christmas, the Morrison Hotel burnt down to the ground. It was pretty much a derelict, transient kind of flop house at that point. And, well, needless to say, it is forever immortalized as a record album of the Doors. And the thing about Val Kilmer, why this video is dedicated to his memory, was Val Kilmer, Oliver Stone had it in mind for many years. He was a big Doors fan. And he had it in mind that he wanted to direct a movie, write a movie about the career of the Doors. And, you know, he went through so many actors. I mean, John Travolta auditioned for the part. I think Scott Baio auditioned, Al Pacino. I mean, I know John Bon Jovi, he auditioned for the part. I'm surprised Ian Ashbury, who became the Doors frontman, Ian Ashbury from the band The Cult, he became the Doors frontman back in the early 2000s, and they toured as the Doors of the 21st century. And what had happened was, finally Val Kilmer came in to audition. His side gig, other than actor, was he had his own Doors tribute band. And if you see that movie, the resemblance, you would think they were related, Morrison and Kilmer. Kilmer had Jim Morrison's mannerisms down to a T. He spent years studying Morrison's moves and studying the way he sang and the way he presented himself. He came to the audition for Oliver Stone with 2 cassettes of Doors music. One cassette was actually a recording of the Doors. The other was his band, where he went in the studio with his band and they recorded some Doors songs with him singing. And needless to say, he played the one tape, and Oliver Stone says, yes, that is definitely the Doors. And Kilmer goes, no, this tape right here that I haven't showed you, this is the Doors. This is my band. And needless to say, Val Kilmer won Oliver Stone over. Val Kilmer had costumes and everything for when he did shows. He, wigs, the whole 9 yards. He was a big Doors fan. And I'll tell you what, despite the movie, only so much of it was accurate, because I read all the books and watched all the documentaries on the Doors. Still, if you get a chance, look for this movie, stream it, get it out of the library, find it in like a $5 bargain bin at Walmart, or, some place that sells used DVDs. Pick up this movie and watch it. You'll thank me later in the comments. And at any rate, that's the end of this video. And remember, if you're new to the channel, hit like, hit subscribe, leave comments in the box down below. Only positive thoughts. Oh, and where's he at? Come here, boy. And go ahead and say hello to Ollie in the comments as well. Show him some love. Show Ollie some love. There he is. Look at him. Where you at? Show Ollie some love right there. Ollie, you're about to be famous. Anyway, this is your old pal Russell JS. As always, I want to wish you to keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it chill, keep it tubular, play some Atari, play some Nintendo, play some Sega Genesis, play some Pac-Man, play some pinball, listen to 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever old school music makes your fancy. I know I do. Watch some